In 2001, researchers in Great Britain began with 248 people to build better exercise habits over the course of 2 weeks. The subjects were divided into three groups. First group was the control group. They were simply asked to do track how often they exercise. The second group was the motivation group. They were asked not only to track their workout but also to read some material on benefits of exercise. These researchers also explained to the group how exercise could reduce the risk of coronary heart disease and improve heart health. Finally, there was the third group. These subjects received the same presentation as the second group, which ensured that they had equal level of motivation. However, they were also asked to formulate a plan for when and where they would exercise over the following week. Specifically, each member of third group completed the following sentence. During the next week, I will partake in at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise. In first and second group, 35 to 38% of the people exercised at least per week. Interestingly, the motivational presentation given to the second group seemed to have no meaningful impact on the behavior. But 91% of the third group exercised at least once per week, more than double the normal rate. The sentence they filled out is what researchers refer to as a implementational intention, which is a plan you make beforehand about when and where to act. This is how you intend to implement a particular habit. The cue that can trigger a habit come in a wide range of forms and feel of your phone buzzing in your pocket, the smell of chocolate chips, cookies, the sound of ambulance sirens. But two most common cues are time and location. Implementation intentions average both of these cues. Broadly speaking, the format of creating an implementation intention is what situation X arises, I will perform response Y. Hundreds of studies have shown that implementation intention are effective for sticking to our goals, whether it's writing down the exact time and date of when you will get a flu shot or recording the time of your colonoscopy appointment. They increase the odds that people will stick with habits like recycling, studying, going to sleep early, and stopping smoking. Researchers have even found that voters' turnout increase when people are forced to create implementation intention by answering questions like what route are you taking to the polling station and at what time are you planning to go? What bus will you get to go there? Other successful government programs have promoted citizens to make a clear plan to send taxes in on time or provide directions on when and where to pay late traffic bills. The punchline is clear. People who make a specific plan for when and where they will perform a new habit are more likely to follow through. Too many people try to change their habits without these basic details figured out. We tell ourselves, I'm going to eat healthier or I'm going to write more, but we never say when and where these habits are going to happen. We leave it up to the chance and hope that we will just remember to do it or feel motivated at the right time. An implementation intention sweeps away foggy notions like I want to work out more or I want to be more productive or should I vote and transform them into a concrete plan of action. Many people think they lack motivation when what they really lack is clarity. It is not always obvious when and where to take actions. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for the time to be right to make an improvement. Once an implementation intention has been set, you don't have to wait for inspiring to strike. Do I write a chapter today or not? Do I meditate this morning or at lunch? When the moment of action occurs, there is no need to make decision. Simply follow your predetermined plan. The simple way to apply this strategy to your habits is to fill out more sentences. I will do this thing at this time and in this location. Meditation. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. Studying. I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom. Exercise. I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. Marriage. I will make my partner a cup of tea at 8 a.m. in the kitchen. If you aren't sure when to start your habit, try the first day of the week, month, year. People are more likely to take actions at those times because hope is usually higher. If we have hope, we have a reason to take actions. A fresh start feels motivating. There is another benefit of implementation intention. Being specific about what you want and how will you achieve it helps you say no to things that derail progress, distract your attention, and pull you off course. We often say yes to little requests because we are not clear enough about what we need to do. When your dreams are vague, it is easy to rationalize little expectations all day long and never get around to a specific thing you need to do for success. Give your habits a time and a space to live in the world. The goal is to make the time and location so obvious with enough repetition you get an urge to do right things at the right time. Even if you can't say why, obviously, you are never going to just work out without conscious thought. But like a dog salivating at the bell, maybe you start to get antsy around the time of the day you normally work out. There are many ways to use implementation intention in your life and work. My favorite approach is the one I learned from Stanford professors BJ Fogg, and it is the strategy I refer to as habit stocking. Simple plan to overhaul your habits. The French philosopher Denis Diderot lived nearly all his life in poverty, but that all changed one day in 1765. Denis' daughter was about to be married and he could not afford to pay for the wedding. Despite his lack of wealth, Diderot was well known for his role as a co-founder and writer of Encyclopedia, one of the most comprehensive encyclopedias of that time. When Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, heard his financial troubles, her heart went out to him. She was a book lover and greatly enjoyed his encyclopedia. She offered to buy Diderot's personal library for 1,000 pounds, more than $150,000 today. Suddenly, Diderot had money to spare. With his new wealth, he not only paid for the wedding but also acquired a scarlet robe for himself. Diderot's scarlet robe was beautiful, so beautiful, in fact, that he immediately noticed how out of place it seemed when surrounded by his more common possessions. He wrote that there was no more coordination, no more unity, no more beauty between his elegant robe and rest of his stuff. Diderot soon felt urged to upgrade his possessions. He replaced his rug with one of the Damascus bought. He decorated his home with expensive sculptures. He bought a mirror to place above the mantel and a better kitchen table. He tossed aside his old straw chair for the leather one. Like falling dominoes, one purchase led to the next. Diderot's behavior was not uncommon. In fact, the tendency for one purchase to lead to another one has the name the Diderot effect. The Diderot effect states that obtaining a new possession often creates a spiral of consumption that leads to additional purchases. You can spot this pattern everywhere. You buy a dress and have to get new shoes and earrings to match. You buy a couch and suddenly question the layout of your entire living room. You buy a toy for your child and soon find yourself purchasing all of the accessories that go with it. It's chain reaction of purchases. Any human behavior follow this cycle. You often decide what to do next based on when you have just finished doing. Going to bathroom leads to washing and drying your hands. Just reminds you that you need to put the dirty towel in the laundry. So you add laundry detergent to the shopping list and so on. No behavior happens in isolation. Each action becomes a cue that triggers the next behavior. Why is this important? When it comes to building a new habit, you can use the connectedness of behavior in your advantage. One of the best way to build a new habit is to identify a current habit you already do each day, then stake your new behavior on the top. Habit staking is special form of implementation intention rather than pairing your new habit with particular time allocation. You pair it with the current habit. This method, which was created by BJ Fogg as a part of his tiny habit program, can be used to design an obvious cue for nearly any habit. For example, meditation. After I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. Exercise. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. Gratitude. After I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened today. Marriage. After I get into the bed at night, I will give my partner a kiss. Safety. After I put on the running shoes, I will text a friend or a family member where I'm running and how long will it take. The key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. Once you have mastered these basic structures, you can begin to create a large stack by chaining small habits together. This allows you to take advantage of the natural momentum that comes from one behavior leading to the next, a positive version of Diderot effect. Your morning routine habit stake might look like this. After I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds. After I meditate for 60 seconds, I will write my to do list for the day. After I write my to do list for the day, I will immediately begin my first task. Or consider the habit stack in the evening. After I finish eating dinner, I will put my plate directly into the dishwasher. After I put my dishes away, I will immediately wipe down the counter. After I wipe down the counter, I will set out my coffee mug for tomorrow morning. You can also insert new behavior into middle of your current routines. For example, you may already have a morning routine that looks like wake up, make my bed, take a shower. That's you say you want to develop a habit of reading more each night. You can expand your habit stack and try something like wake up, make my bed, place a book on my pillow, take a shower. Now, when you climb into the bed each night, the book will be sitting there waiting for you to enjoy. Overall habit staking allows you to create a set of simple rules that guide your future behavior. It's like you always have a game plan for which action should come next. Once you get comfortable with this approach, you can develop general habit stake to guide you whenever the situation is appropriate. Exercise. When I see a set of stairs, I will take them instead of using an elevator. Social skills. When I walk into a party, I will introduce myself to someone I don't know yet. Finances. When I want to buy something over $1,000 or $100 maybe, I will wait 24 hours before purchasing. Healthy eating. When serve myself a meal, I'll always put veggies on my plate first. Minimalism. When I buy a new item, I will give something away immediately. One in, one out mode. When the phone rings, I will take one deep breath and smile before answering. Forgetfulness. When I leave a public place, I will check the table and chairs to make sure I don't leave anything behind. No matter how you use these strategies, the secret of creating successful habit stack is selecting the right cue to kick things off, unlike an implementation intention, which specifically states the time and location for the given behavior. Habit stacking implicitly have the time and location built into it. When and where you choose to insert a habit into your daily routine can make a big difference. If you are trying to add meditation into your morning routine, but mornings are chaotic and your kids keep running into the room, then that may be the wrong place and time. Consider when you are most likely to be successful. Don't ask yourself to do a habit when you are likely to be occupied with something else. Your cue should also have same frequency as your desired habit. If you want to do a habit every day but you stack it on the top of habit that only happens on Monday, that's not a good choice. One way to find the right trigger for your habit stack is brainstorming a list of your current habits. You can use a healthy habit scorecard from the last chapter at starting point. Alternatively, you can create a list with two columns. In first column, write down the habits you do each day without fail. For example, get out of the bed, take a shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, brew a cup of coffee, eat breakfast, take the kids to school, start the work day, have lunch, have end of the work day, change out the work clothes, sit down for the dinner, turn off the lights, get into the bed. Your list can be much longer, but you get an idea. In the second column, write down things that happen to you each day without fail. For example, the sun rises, obviously. You take a text message, the song you're listening to the ends, the sun sets. Armed with these two lists, you can begin searching for the best place to layer your new habits into lifestyle. Habit stacking works best when the cue is highly specific and immediately actionable. Many people select cues that are too vague. I made this mistake myself. When I wanted to start push-up habit, my stake was when I take a break from lunch, I will do 10 push-ups. At first glance, it sounds reasonable, but soon I realized the trigger was unclear. Would I do my push-ups before I ate lunch? After I ate lunch? Where would I do them? After a few inconsistent days, I changed my habit stake to when I close my laptop for lunch, I will do 10 push ups next to my desk. Habits like read more, eat better are worthy causes, but these goals do not provide instructions on how and when to act. Be specific and clear. After I close the door, after I brush my teeth, after I sit down at the table. The specificity is important. More tightly bound your new habit is to a specific cue, the better the odds are that they would be noticed by you when the time comes to act. The first law of behavior change is to make it obvious. Strategies like implementation intention are among the most practical ways to create obvious cues in your habits and design a clear plan for when and where to take actions. So, the chapter summary: make behavior change obvious. Two most common cues are time and location. Creating an implementation intention is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The formula is I will do this at time this and at this location. Habit staking is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with the current habit. After this habit, I will do this habit. For example, after having my dinner, I will walk for 15 minutes. Thank you for listening.